This is a slice of the kidney. Up on top here is the suprarenal or adrenal gland. Here's the kidney. The renal artery and renal vein are right over here. The only thing it really shows me here well, I didn't take my pen with me, is that the outside is the cortex and the inside here with the pyramids is the medulla. That's called the parenchyma of the kidneys. You have the pyramids and columns making up the medulla and the cortex being the outside. In here you have your renal sinus. That's where we have the calyces. We have minor calyces that come together as major calyces. And this area here is the renal pelvis that goes out the ureter. One thing about this model, it doesn't show it lower on the right-hand side. Oh, does it? Not by much, I can't tell. But if you look at the ureters, they come down here. They're lined with that transitional epithelium that we learned about in 170, but we think of it more in terms of the bladder. They come in to the back part of the bladder. Doesn't really show that here. And they have such an angle, and they have 3 muscular layers. They have a circular and a longitudinal, and then towards the bottom they even have another longitudinal layer. So it almost creates a sphincter. That little black dot there and there, 2 black dots are where the ureters enter the bladder. And the bladder has a mucosa and a lamina propria, just like the GI tract, except it doesn't have a submucosa. But like the stomach, they're thrown into folds. The bladder has rugae, temporary folds. When your bladder is full, they flatten out. When it's empty, they're more prominent. The bladder, the layer inside of it, you can see is very thick muscular layer. Has an inner longitudinal, outer circular, outer longitudinal. Those 3 layers, without knowing the order of them or anything, those are called detrusor muscles. Those are the strong muscles of the bladder that will constrict the bladder. And then on the outside, you have some is adventitia and some is seroso membrane. They kind of bulge into the pelvic cavity somewhat near the floor. So these 2 dots are where the ureters enter, and they create like a physiological sphincter so that when the muscles contract, it closes off those ureter openings. And then it forms a little triangle here. At the base of the triangle is the urethra. So ureters come in at the top, urethra goes out at the bottom. This happens to be a male, because this is the prostate. So it's the prostatic urethra. This area with the 2, whether it's a male or female, you've got the 2 ureter openings and the urethra at the bottom, always forms a triangle. It's known as the trigone of the bladder. So if I point to this in a test, that's the trigone of the bladder, what that region is called. The 2 ureters and the urethra. The muscles of the bladder are known as detrusor muscles. Oh, no, one more thing I can show you. Almost forgot. They have here a slide of a kidney. I don't know how they get such a small kidney. What does it say it's from? I'm not sure how they managed to get a kidney so small. But this is a kidney, and I'm in the cortex region. Those things to me almost remind me of pancreatic islets. That's the glomerulus. So here's the cortex. We're at the end. All these little circular things are tight capillary knots, being a glomerulus. So surrounding it would be Bowman's capsule. Everything here is kidney tubules, which looks like acinar cells. They're ducts. These are cuboidal. One more thing for lecture to remember, that when you get to the bladder, that mucosa has a lamina propria, and the epithelial cells are transitional epithelium. 170, you learned that one of the types of epithelium was transitional because they change shape. As the bladder expands, they flatten out and become squamous. As it relaxes, it becomes more cuboidal, almost columnar. So this is kidney, there's a glomerulus, and all these other things are ducts. Those are renal tubules. And they're convoluted, so they're all twisting and stuff like that. If we come down a little further, you can kind of see right there a tubule that looks cuboidal right over here. And we're catching some of the turns, and right here, that's a tubule. But if I come right over here, whoop, went too far. That's a glomerulus off to the side. Now I have it in the center. That's a glomerular capillary bed. So that's the renal corpuscle right here. And we're seeing through all along other sides of it, going in and out, nice cuboidal cells that making up those renal tubules. So that's histological section of it. Right. If you want, I can open up the mic.